Today's episode is brought to you by InShot Trail of Sales of Richland, Iowa, the Packwood Locker, Smithburg, Ottawa, Fairfield, Iowa, and the Cedar Rabbits Titans arena football team that you'll be able to see on Round Guy Radio starting next Sunday as they take on the Midwest Raptors at 5 o'clock. We've got Coach Worrell of the Mediapolis Bulldogs. Welcome to the program, Coach.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Dave.
Well, you've had a pretty great season. I think you finished second overall. You get a win in the shootout. You got a playoff matchup that we're going to talk about, but seemed like you had some pretty big games in the last couple of weeks since I talked to you. Can you kind of let us know how things have been going?
Oh, well, we finished the year for regular season 14-6. You know, we had some, I don't know, since we talked to you, we probably played, we had the Mid Central League game. We probably had the Holy Trinity game that week. We played them in the same week, and we got a couple wins there. We beat Central League. Oh, they led us almost the whole game. We came back and put on a little run in the fourth quarter to beat them by 5 or 6 again. Kind of stepped up our defense and hit some shots, and then Holy Trinity was back and forth. They had a little lead late in the game, and we got to stop and got to the free throw line and made the free throw to send it into overtime, and then ran on them in overtime and kind of won by 8. So those were 2 good wins, and I think we were spent the rest of the week. So we played Mount Pleasant after that, and they kind of gave us a little stomping. So I don't know if it was a matter of they're pretty good. That's number one, and number 2 was we were pretty tired, I think. But number 1 was they didn't miss a shot. They pounded the ball inside against our man and made baskets, and then we went zone and they hit threes, and so it was like death by 1,000 cuts. So they couldn't miss. I think they shot 68% or something, maybe, or 70% for the game, and it wasn't like we weren't trying to play defense. It just, you know what, they seemed to be where we weren't.
Well,
and then we turned around and played Fort Madison on Monday of last week, and snuck another one in overtime and got it done there. And we had a exciting finish. We were tied, and they shot the ball with about 9 seconds left on the game clock, and Max Griffin tipped the ball out, couldn't quite get the rebound, so he just tipped it out front, and it landed in Will Luttenegger's hands, and he went off to the races and behind the back and laid it up for a layup to win 51-49. So, that was a good win. And then Saturday night, as you know, we played the South versus the North, 2 versus 2, and we played Winfield again. And gosh, we had a lead at halftime and built it up in the third quarter, and we're up 46-25. And they came storming back in the fourth quarter and made a game and had it down to 3 or 4. And we hung on to win by 5, 53-48. But it's a good run by them and good defense. And it was, so Clay does a good job with them.
Yeah, their defense is pretty tough. Did they hold you down in scoring or?
Yeah, well, we got 53. So yeah, that held us down a little bit. We usually average around 60.
Yeah, so a good showing by the South. Which generally, I don't know, the North will win 1 or 2, but they didn't get any this year.
But we swept them all.
But you guys are strong down there, and you've got other strong teams to play. Highland, they don't play anything like Notre Dame at all in their schedule. They probably played kind of a weaker schedule, but or Hillcrest. I mean, yeah, they I know Pekin got them and Keota got them early in the season, but
yeah,
they got some good players. But I don't think there's anything like that Notre Dame team. If we got a team that's going to go to state, I believe it's going to be them, unless you guys do it. But
they're hard to handle. I'll say that. You're right.
Yeah, I got to see him up close and personal, and Shea Stevens is maybe the best high school basketball player I've ever seen.
Yeah,
he's incredible. But we got a big announcement here. We are doing the all-round guy team, and you definitely have a player on it, and it's Max Griffin, and he was a unanimous choice.
Good.
For it. We're 6 guys on there, and he's right at the top with and that's not just for your division or just your size of school. That's for everybody. Burlington, Jackson Clark's on the team. Shea Stevens is on the team. So congratulations to Max. I know he got his 1,000 point. I don't know if I've talked to you since then.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's a heck of a player. Let's start out and talk about what he means to the Mediapolis Bulldogs.
Well, he's, I'll say this. You can talk about Max scoring points and all that. Max plays the game the right way. I just had this discussion with somebody else today, and super fun to coach. I mean, he just even keeled. I've coached him for 4 years, and I'm going to say this about him that you can't say about many kids anywhere. But I don't think I've ever seen him when he didn't get a call go his way, and he's had some where he's been hammered and didn't get a call, and he's never ever complained once to a referee in my 4 years of coaching that young man. And he just so even keeled. You think you're behind, he's still pretty easy going. He'll talk to he'll tell me, he said, let's run this, or so. That's the kind of guy he is, and he's a good scorer. He can rebound. He can share the ball with assist. He gets his hands on a lot of balls with deflection and steals, and he's just an all around good basketball player. So that's a great honor for him to get, and I'm sure he'll say.
Well, what I like about Max is when the old round guy radio camera's on, he likes to shine. In fact, I remember it was against Holy Trinity. It was a game I was doing for you guys where he scored the 1,000th point.
It was.
He's a terrific. His older brother was one of the stars kind of 4 or 5 years ago when we started doing this.
Yep.
Terrific player. But Max really had an outstanding career. But you've got some other players. Let me ask you about the Gatling gun. He's, in the games that I watch he always did something big. Steals the ball, makes a basket. He may not lead you in scoring or anything, but boy, does he get plays, get steals and rebounds and things when you need him, doesn't he?
He's you know what? He's a guy that you're gonna see. He's not gonna show up in the stat column, all of them. He's not the glory boy there. He is, give me the best player on the other team. I'm gonna guard him, and he's gonna dig in. He's the guy that's gonna get a tough rebound. He's gonna push a little tempo. He's gonna hit his teammates. He's gonna get an offensive rebound. He's he just little things, like you said. There's a lot of times we ask him to play defense a certain way, and he's not going to get a lot of steals by the way we ask him to play defense, but he's not going to give up a lot either. He's going to dig in. He's going to take away that guy and not let him touch it. He's going to. He's just a really good teammate, and just it's fun to watch him when he locks in on defense. He's tough.
So you also have a couple brothers named Luttenegger. And by the way, I want to clarify something. If you did watch that on the podcast where it has the closed caption there, I just want you to know I really was saying Luttenegger, no matter what it said on it.
He's good. They're good boys.
Because it said something else on the something I won't repeat, but
that happens.
But he's I really enjoyed watching them play. They play with intensity. They have a little communication there together. A big part of what you're doing, and I think anybody'd like to have those kids on their team. What are those boys like?
Oh, they're Will's he's our second leading scorer. He's our leading assist guy. Does some of that stuff for us. I think Henry's our fourth leading scorer. He averages 5 a game, 5.2 or someplace around there, and he does all the little things: the rebounds, assists. He gets his hands on a lot of basketballs. He's got a lot of deflections. Both those two do. So they take a lot of pride in that. And Henry's a good rebounder. I think he's either our third or fourth leading rebounder. We're rebounding by committee. So, we got Max number 1, and then we got Brayton DeLang number 2, and then Gannon and Will 3 and 4, and William Worrell 5. So yeah, we just have, we're those two guys are solid. They're really good basketball players, good kids.
Well,
super athletes.
William Worrell is a big kid, and probably has to go up against some of the other guys' big kids. He's a good rebounder, can score when you need him to. How about your boy there? How'd he do this year?
He's had a decent year. He's averaging almost, double figures, 10 a game on the year, and 11.7, I think, in conference. And, he adds a little bit. He just fills different positions for us. He's a guy that can shoot the three if we need to. He's a guy that can post up. He's one of our post up players. He's a pretty good passer for a big guy. I mean, the other night he scored. I think he had 1 point, but he had 5 assists. So he stuck his nose in where he needed to, and he was it was a rough go, but he kept doing the things we needed to. He got 4 or 5 rebounds, and you know what? He's one of those guys that just fills the role we need.
Well,
He's like our third option, kind of, offensively a little bit. So
well,
he gets a little pressure off those other two.
You guys got a bunch of guys that play good together, but it seemed like you were a little deeper than some of the other teams. It did seem like you had a couple guys that might have come off the bench there and contributed.
Yeah. Henry comes off the bench, and so does Brock Spears, a couple juniors, and Hayden Googler comes off and plays some. And those guys are, they provide sparks when we need them and what we need. And it's, we've got this group's been playing together for a while. They like to play with each other. They like to share the basketball. They like to find the open guy, and then they've bought in a little bit this year defensively, more than they have in the past. We do some different things and we're trying some things, and they've been awesome about that experience. And when we ask them to do something and change something on the script, and they handle it pretty well.
Well, let's talk a little. Do you have any more games this year?
We're done for the year. We're just going to play 20. We had one that got postponed, but we're not going to be able to make it back up. It's just long trip, and we're not going to make that long trip this week and do it during a school day and school week, and just too hard to find a time because that other team's also playing. And so we'll just go and roll into tournament play on Monday and start the tournament.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the tournament. Who did you draw there?
We're the 3 seed. We drew L&M, in our district. So they're the 6 seed. We'll be the favorite, but that doesn't mean anything. We'll have to go in and take care of business, like you said. They got a nice little player in that Oscar Klein.
Yeah, Oscar Klein. His brother Finnegan Klein was a real good player too. But Oscar seems I've seen him put up like 41 points or something in a game or something. Yeah, that'll be a nice little game for him. I'm sure you'll have the home field on that.
Yeah, we got a great crowd. We'll have a great crowd. They'll be rowdy. They'll be ready to go.
Yeah, other coaches tell me your gym is tough to play in.
I'll tell you, our high school kids. We just had a pep rally the other day, and I told them, I said, "You've been voted, and you might as well give them the Round Guy Radio Scout or Player of the Year for that. They've been the best crowd. They're loudest. They're engaged. They do some great things, and they definitely our kids enjoy playing in front of them. And I think it makes a difference when you have your classmates out there screaming and yelling for you and providing that energy. And you know what, they do a good job. So they bring it. So
yeah, I really enjoy your gym and your crowd and they've been such good, followers around Guy Radio right from the very beginning. We're 5 years into this. I can't hardly believe it. Well, tell me a little bit about if you get past them. You said you got Mid Prairie. Then if you can, or most likely have Mid Prairie.
Yeah. Mid Prairie is the number 2 seed. So pretty much the same thing we did last year. I think we played Van Buren first, maybe last year. Is that who we played first? I don't remember. We played somebody first, and then we went there and played Mid Prairie. Mid Prairie was, the number 2 seed. And we had a good game plan and was right in the middle of it. And man, they went on a run. They just physically went on a run against us. So we know it's going to be, if we get to that far, we know that'll be a dogfight, and we know they'll be physical, and we know what that game will be like. And hopefully we can match their physical game, and hopefully we can match it with a little bit of getting our guys open and finding ways to create offense and then play defense against them and take away some of their options. So that'll be a big opportunity, and you can't ask for anything else. I mean, at this point in the year, it's win or go home.
Well, was there any like real big games? Did anybody have a real special game, or did you break any records or anything besides the 1,000 points from Max Griffin rebounding or anything like that?
Well, I mean, we've had some exciting games down the stretch. We had a couple overtime games, and Holy Trinity took us to overtime. And that same week, we had Central Lee. Like I said, they had a lead, and we kind of put on a little fourth quarter run in one of them. And against Holy Trinity, we had, that was you had the chance, and you're down. I think we were down one. They had the ball, and um, kid made a shot. The wrong kid made a shot, got fouled, and put them up three. And it's still 30 seconds left, and he missed the free throw. We come down, and I don't know if we got fouled or what, and we hit a shot and cut it to one, and got a stop and got the ball back, and we ran a well. We had a shot, missed it, got the rebound. No, missed the free throw on a chance to cut it to or to tie it, and we got the offensive rebound on the free throw with like 6 seconds or 8 seconds left, and we hit Max, and he went up for a shot, and I'll just say this: he missed it. There's some contact, but it went out of bounds, our ball, and then we were taking it out, and we got fouled, and we made one and missed the second, and they missed one at like a 3-pointer from about 25 at the buzzer. So we went into overtime, and in overtime, we had 5 of our 6 kids scored a bucket in that overtime, and we were up by 12 at one time, and just kind of just flourished in overtime and got some good looks and created some things, and I think we wore them out. I'll be honest. I think we kind of wore them out in the game.
Well,
That kinda helped.
they're a little shorthanded to start with, and you get the back-to-back games and 4
Yeah.
games a week and playing Saturday games, and I mean basketball keeps you busy. I'm a little exhausted myself chasing
Yeah.
chasing you guys all around. We sure did get in a lot of games this year. Well, I don't know if I got anything else for you, Coach. Was there anything we didn't get to talk about that you wanted to talk about?
I just appreciate you doing this for the kids in Southeast Iowa. I just want to thank you, and we enjoy it. So
Well,
thanks for doing it.
we did again. If you wonder why I didn't do too much the last couple of weeks, I didn't have any broadcasting time. You got to pay for all that, and I pay for it a year at a time for $1,100, and I got shorted about 10 hours last month, and it really put me in a bind coming down the stretch. Although maybe there wasn't a lot of, there was Mount Pleasant had a couple close games, but there wasn't a whole lot of real close action other than your overtime game there. But we did finally get a chance to talk about it. But congratulations on an outstanding season and the second place finish and a nice seed there for the playoffs. And I'm wishing you well and wishing you good luck Monday night against L&M.
All right. Thank you, Dave.
Bye.